Welcome to tonight's edition of POSTCAST as the Jazz fall to the San Antonio Spurs 110-100. The first half was the story of the Spurs putting on an absolute clinic. The second half was the story of the Jazz learning how hard they can fight, what they're capable of doing as a basketball team. So is this a good night?
I thought it was an excellent night. I think it was something they learned from. At the beginning of the year, you and I talked about the fight that last year's team had them, but the fact that this year's team had more athletic ability, they have more athletes, and they have better shooting. Now, the fight that they had there in their second half is exactly what they're going to have to level they're going to have to play with, and that's the difference, I think, right now.
Did they have more fight, or they have a few guys have unbelievable experiences? That would be my only concern, is that Mo Williams just got ridiculously hot, scored 15 points in the third quarter, and kind of willed his team back. That you can't rely on, but was there something other than that you saw?
Absolutely. I mean, look at the rebounds that they were getting, and the fact that Paul Millsap was going to the ball. Paul Millsap had 10 rebounds in 31 minutes. I mean, 32 rebounds, 9 of them coming on the offensive glass. I mean, you could just see the level of play really picked up. Now, true enough, you generate that kind of play by Mo Williams by the level of play that you're playing. And so I thought that there was fight, and that's exactly where they're going to have to play. Regardless if they have a bad shooting night, they need to try to play at that level every night.
Spurs end up shooting 57%, but that's after shooting 74% in the first half. They led this thing by 62-44 at the half. They shot 74% in the first half. They hit 14 of 17 in the second quarter. Let's give them their due. The ball movement is just absolutely fabulous. And what's more impressive is they reverse the ball at every possession, and they know where everyone is at all times.
Well, and that's the great thing about watching this basketball team. This is a team that should be a model for every team in the NBA. They do a lot of things well. They've been playing together for an awful long time. They read each other very, very well, and then the fact that they are well coached. That second half, it's like Popovich was not worried at all because the Jazz had such a great run there in the third period. He didn't even bring his starters back in until a couple of minutes into the fourth period, and then they started, just to regain the level of play that they had there in the first half. That fourth quarter, the Jazz shot about 63.5%, and end up losing the fourth quarter.
Well, they turned it over like 6-7 times, didn't they?
And that hurts. The Jazz did turn it over 6 times in that quarter to 0 for the San Antonio Spurs.
Well, and the Spurs were turnover prone early. Jazz brought in Al Jefferson in the fourth quarter. I believe it was about 99-94 with 5:57 left. They went back to Al, and Al promptly against Tim Duncan, 13-time all-defensive team player, and Big Al goes 5 of 5 from the field. He got the ball in the left block. He got to his moves, and that's a huge thing because Al, prior to that stretch, Al was 12 of 35 for the season.
Well, in 8 minutes of play, and those were valuable minutes, I thought, there for the Jazz because they started to get something on the inside, something that they had not been able to get all night long. Now, points in the paint, 16-6 in favor of the Jazz in favor of the Spurs, rather, in that fourth period. So those points that Al was able to get in that fourth period, they were matched by the San Antonio Spurs.
He got the only points in the paint. The one thing tonight, 2 things were disturbing tonight. We're going to tell the whole story. One, Randy Foy's defense in the fourth quarter. He just got obliterated by Danny Green. It was stunning.
I'm very surprised that happened because I thought Foy was a better defensive player. Now, Green has a very nice, quick first step.
But he looks like we haven't seen Foy. He just looks still.
He looked slow, didn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, but that was and letting him get baseline there. Where did Green end up with in that third period at 6 points? He was 3 for 3 shooting, and all of them seemed to be layups going to the basket.
He went 8 of 9 for 21 points tonight. The other one, Enes Kanter has just not found that preseason rhythm that he had. It's a little different game now, and he is not rolling at all. And in fact, tonight he had a hard time executing plays and staying in things and rotating correctly. Very similar to what it was like for him in the playoffs against San Antonio.
Exactly. The mistakes he's making out there on the floor now, the level of play has picked up. The pace of the game has picked up. And so you have to react to certain situations out there on the floor, and he's just not doing it right now. But his overall game, David, regardless of what we're seeing right now, has improved. I mean, he's much better than he was last year, and I think he'll get it. It'll come.
Saw the big lineup for the first time this year. That actually may have swung the game a little bit. That was in the second quarter. They went to the big lineup with 4:27 left, and they actually outscored the Spurs 16-15, I think it was, maybe 18-16 in that second quarter when they went to Millsap, Favors, and Jefferson. That's the first time we've seen that. We saw some different rotation things, and I think that's the big picture here, is that we're 3 games into the NBA season, and I understand it's the only data that we have so far, so we overanalyze those 3 games. But we're seeing slight evolutions each and every night to where this team's going to be. How long until do you think, or do we with this team, get into a rhythm of who this team is? Is it going to be game 10? Is it going to be 15? Where is it when we get some rhythm and Tyrone gets a full understanding of how to use this complement of players?
I think he's going to be, I don't know, halfway into this month, or maybe even the full month, but strictly because we're playing so many road games right now. And if you're at home and you have, like, in the past, the Jazz have had more home games in the month of November than they had on the road. This year is just the opposite. So and even tonight, you can see that he was trying to find a rotation. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys play over 30 minutes tonight, and that's something that we're probably going to see a little bit more of.
Well, that is the wrap from here. 110-100. I will just tell you this. I picked the Spurs to have the best record in the Western Conference this year, and after watching them tonight, I feel very good about that prediction.
I agree. I think this is an excellent basketball team, and
they still got it.
They're going to make you beat them. And as long as Duncan and Parker and Ginobili stay healthy with the 3-point shooting, and then you throw in Green, you know,
right,
and Leonard, guys. I mean, this is a well-balanced basketball team.
It's a good basketball team. And they'll get Manu back, hopefully, full strength. If they do, then they're really going to be special. Jazz will be home Wednesday to face the Lakers. Tickets are available for that at UtahJazz.com. The next Saturday against Phoenix. That's a great ticket package with Papa John's that's available. You can call the operators at 801-325-2999. We didn't just have an earthquake. They bumped us if you're watching on YouTube. Have a good night. Jazz fall at 110-100. We'll talk to you from Memphis on Monday. Locked on Jazz podcast with Kevin Pelton coming Monday, plus tip-off as